So I hear a lot of people say things like, you don't understand. You're not there yet. Don't worry, Didi. When you get there, you will understand. As a perinatal mental health worker who supports parents and advocates for the importance of parents achieving their mental health so that they can in turn give back the right kind of care, I get asked a lot of questions. Questions like, how do I establish a healthy child care without being critical, without hitting my child? How do I discipline without being forceful, without getting angry, without it getting on my nerves? I see frustrations in the eyes of parents. I know that it is frustrating, especially when your child is above the age of 7 and they are gradually getting out of your grip and some of them have become teenagers. I see the frustration. I know how annoying it can get. I know how I sound holier than thou. And some of you know I might not even yet have my own child. And so I hear a lot of people say things like, you don't understand. You're not there yet. Don't worry, Didi. When you get there, you will understand. But I have practically taught this, and it has been proven to work for those parents who put it into practice. So today I'm going to teach it again, maybe break it down. This time around, not to use so much English, but to give you at least ways that you can establish a healthy parenting technique without being critical, without hurting your child, without hitting your child, without being forceful, especially if you are parenting a teenager or you're parenting a child who is above 7 years. And if you are not parenting a child who is above 7 years or have not gotten to 7 years yet, lucky you, you've stumbled on this video, so you should watch it till the end because it will be useful. So now I'm going to share a story with you. When I was growing up, we had like a blackboard kind of lifestyle. And so I didn't even know it was blackboard kind of lifestyle because until I was 26 and I was still living a blackboard lifestyle. So my friends would come to my house and I had this board on my wall where I write what I need to do, what things I need to do for the day. Friends, do you know how that started? It started way back home. I have a father who was a disciplinarian. His was the extreme. Whilst he was very extreme and critical with his parenting technique, but there was one thing that was common in his approach of care. It was consistency and the routine which we were all used to. So imagine that my dad, who was very critical in his approach, could be very critical with establishing routine. And I, at 26, even till now, was living out that lifestyle 26 years after. Tell me, if he had done it differently in terms of not being too critical, obviously with the same routine which was in place. For example, we all knew that by 5:30 a.m. we're going to be awake and we're going to have our morning devotion, whether my father was at home or not. We all also knew that immediately after the morning devotion was the morning duty shift, which all of us in the house, no matter how young we were, knew what we were going to be doing immediately after morning prayers. Which brings me to my number one point of establishing a healthy discipline in the life of your child and at your home, which would involve you. You must establish a consistent routine. Mark the word consistent, mark the word routine. Now, children function more with routine because they know what is expected of them. We all knew what, we didn't like it though, but guess what? Everybody will stand up and do it. Because we all knew that this was what was expected of us. It has been established. Everyone knew. You cannot wake up in the morning and be stretching your leg and be wondering, what are we doing next? No, we all knew. Even at the youngest age of 5, I remember that I knew what I was supposed to do when I wake up. So now, it is the establishment of routines. I know that the times have changed because the truth is, parenting is a skill. And I say this over and over, it is a skill. Times have changed. People are pursuing money more than before. Value systems have been created around money so much that parents don't create the time. I repeat it. It is the time that is required. It is the know-how that is required to do what needs to be done for your parenting experience. Number 2, when I say this, parents think that, oh, it's one of those cliche things that we say. Open communication. Let your child know that they can come to you first, that nothing in this house is beyond our communication. Everything in this house, we can talk about it. Even if your child has gone to kill somebody, let you be the one that your child has to come to first. How do you create that kind of open, healthy communication? By not being judgmental. Because I noticed that most parents who parent teenagers are really judgmental. You see that, yeah, your teenager is tilting a little bit differently from what you expect them to do. The next thing that your natural human being wants to do, which we all do, is to jump on being critical and judgmental. Why would you do this? Why would you do that? Instead of seeking to understand, the reason behind your child's decision to do that, and leaving room to dialogue and to understand, instead of jumping on threats or jumping on disciplining and pushing to the naughty corner and all of that, hitting here and there. I'm not saying that children should not be disciplined, but there is a room for discipline, but discipline must be done from the place of understanding and love, not from the place of discrimination and hatred. Because you might not hate your child. That's not what you want your child to see. But your approach to dealing with what they have done might be perceived as hatred, might be perceived that this person is not on my side. And you cannot influence who feels that you don't love them. If I, just put yourself in, if I feel that you don't love me or you don't support me, do you think I want to come around you the more? Do you think I want to open up the more? I would only open up when I have a sense. That's how we are built. I'll only open up as much as I trust you. And trust is earned from the way you have handled the previous issues that have been presented to you. Was I critically bombarded when something happened? I would be afraid to come to you first. I would take the back seat. I'll be defensive. I would put on my guard to protect myself against you, because I see you as the enemy, even if you're not the enemy. You are the love of my life. You're my father. You're my mother. You love me. But what you are showing doesn't portray love. It portrays the enemy. So I want to fight you. I want to protect myself. That is the normal flight and response behavior that every human being has. And that's what you would do if ever you're in a position where you feel like someone does not support you. So how do you win them over? You use love, consistent emotional maturity love, not love to enable bad behavior. Love in people will know how you feel about them if you don't say it, if you don't seize opportunity to say it. So you must say it to your child. You must repeat it, even in the most critical situations. You must repeat it. You must be consistent. And then if you're parenting a teenager, I'm sorry, it's probably too late if you're going to implement this, but it can still work if you allow patience to take its course and not be critical. However, if you're watching this and your child is not a teenager yet, kudos to you, because you can apply this technique now that they are still toddlers and use it in your approach so that when they grow older, it doesn't become a problem. The third and the most important of them all in parenting, which is the hardest. Hey, come closer and hear this one. When I say this to parents, they'll say things like, "You've not born yet. Have you born? Go and born." Oh no, I tell you, Didi, when you born, I tell you. People say that to me. But guess what? I've collected my full chest that this is the job that God has called me for, and I'm going to do it. Whether I born or not, I'm going to do it. I'm going to tell you. Whether I born or not, I will tell you, because it is the truth. And if you know that this is the truth, please, 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 number 3, go and parent yourself. I'm sorry. I say this to parents, but they don't like to hear. And I'm sorry, go and parent yourself. Like parenting, like literally, the fact that parenting has to be with you leading by example is one of the things that parents can't sit with it. Because obviously that's what most of our parents did. They told us what to do, but we're not doing it. And you cannot influence who you are living a different life. You can't tell a child to use the cutlery. I keep saying it. You can't tell a child to use the cutlery and you're not using the cutlery. Remember our seniors back then, they would beat us, use cutlery. They're not using no. Tell me how I'm going to be using cutlery when you're not using Go and parent yourself first. You must lead by example. If you want your child to be a respectful child, are you respectful towards them? Are you? Sincerely answer this question deeply, deeply to your heart. Are you respectful towards your kids? You want your child to show empathy. Do you show empathy to your child? You want your child to be patient. Do you show patience in your relationship with your child? You want your child to, take on responsibility, to know how to solve problems, to not drink, to not join allow their peers to affect them. What kind of friends do you keep? Are they inspired by the kind of friends that you keep? Do they look at the friends around you and feel inspired? Especially when you're parenting a teenager, you must parent yourself. Must. Put myself in the mirror first and make sure that this me that I'm asking a child to show respect, I'm asking a child to be kind, that I am kind towards my child. I'm empathic towards my child. I'm patient. I show respect. I'm kind. All of the demands I'm making on my child, I'm making those demands back on myself. That is one of the things that as a parent, you must do to establish a healthy disciplining method in your house without being critical. If you've done all these three things genuinely in your heart and it doesn't work, come back to me. Enter my DM and tell me I've tried all of these things genuinely in your heart, not the one that you try today, tomorrow you not do it. Genuinely, if you do all these three things and it does not work, come back to me, come and troll me in my DM. Enter my DM or enter my comment section and tell me, hey, you that have not born, come and tell me. I'll collect it with my full chest. But guess what? Some of us don't actually even do these things. We're busy. It's the truth. We're busy. Busy on our phones, busy in our businesses, in our jobs, making money. We don't have the time. But if we can at least commit the time and the resources that is required to parenting, tell me that we will not find a difference. Now, moving on to the fourth one, which is the last one. One of the ways to build a healthy disciplining culture is to teach a child how to solve a problem. It can be just a basic problem. Don't jump on deciding how to solve a problem by yourself. Get the child involved. Show the child the step-by-step approach to how you're able to solve a particular challenge. It could be in the kitchen. It could be in their home, in their school front, in the bedroom. It could be in the daily tasks that the child needed to do. It could be in anything. It could even be in their dressing. It could be in the complexity of them some children struggle to put on trousers. Show them how that problem was solved. He helps build confidence. He helps build the trust that they have in you, and it helps them come to you more when they have challenges and they know that that they can work with you to achieve a solution. You want to be the go-to person to your child, not necessarily a friend of your child, but a parent who is there as a guiding system to lead your child to a healthy adult life. If you raise your child in the patterns I just shared with you, I bet you will have a better society. Very healthy society of humans who are mentally healthy. But it's quite taxing, but it's also doable. I charge you this day, if you are going to be able, take on these 4 things that I have shared with you today, which was at number 1, consistency in the routine that you use in dealing with your parenting experience. Number 2 has been you leaving room for open, healthy communication in your home. Number 3 has been you parenting yourself. Number 4 has been you involving your child in problem solving experiences or problem solving skills that can help them trust you and know that every problem has a solution. Now, have you seen that in these 4 things I've shared with you, it had you to play? These 4 things I've shared with you had your input in them, had required you to have a role to play in them. It wasn't just because your child was in the picture. It was because you were there, are supposed to be there as guidance to raising a healthy adult. I'm going to ask you a question before I end this video. There is work required. There are skills required. Are you willing to go through that process to help us have a better society? And if your answer to that question is yes, I want to thank you immensely for choosing to be that parent, that intentional, different parent who is going to help us in raising a better society. Never you ever forget that you are not alone. Reach out to support communities. I invite you to join our support communities. I invite you to purchase some of our resources, some of our books that can help you, teach you step-by-step practical ways on how you can be a good parent. And look out for some of our posts in the upcoming weeks. We're going to be having some training sessions for new moms. We're going to be having some courts coming up in the year to train and to guide mothers, hold mothers and fathers their hands to go through their motherhood experience, where we can have healthy children and healthy adults eventually. My name is Idide Olushola, and it has been my time here until I see you on the next. It's a goodbye.